Hey everybody, I'm going to show you how to thread a sewing machine. I am going to do it on my brother. It is an LS2125 model. The mechanics of threading a sewing machine sometimes are the same depending on a brand, different brands, different companies, different models. So while this might not be your exact sewing machine, you may be able to find some helpful hints in watching me do this. Now, before you do anything, make sure that your sewing machine is off. Also, you do want this needle to be in the upright position. And as you can see, it's kind of hard to focus. It is not right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the handle a little bit towards me and do that until the needle gets into the most upright position. And you know it's in the most upright when it won't go anymore, and then you keep turning it and it slightly starts going down. So just stop right there when you are doing that. All right, you can put the presser foot in the down position, and that gives you a little bit more room to maneuver here as well. So let's get going. If you have one of these pins, if it's down, if you've never used your sewing machine before, you just go ahead and pull it back up. You might have heard that little pop. Now, if you are using a spool of thread for the first time, the end of the thread is probably going to be caught. I'm trying to get this to focus. If you can see right there on my pinky finger, that tiny little cut into the base of the spool. This is probably where the end of your thread is going to be, and then there will be a sticker on top of it. So remove the sticker and get that piece of thread out in order to start the spool. Now, when you do that, or even if you're not starting a new thing of thread, I always like to cut the end, because if the end of your thread is frayed at all, it's going to make threading the needle super hard. So just get a nice crisp cut at the end of that thread. So put the spool of thread on this pin. If there is a sticker there, you're probably just going to have to like go down and with some pressure, and it'll pop through as completely normal. You don't have to pop it like with, you know, a special tool or scissors or anything like that. So put the spool of thread on, and my manual says to have the thread coming in the front. So rather than coming looping from the back, you can see when I pull on it, this thread is in the front rather than the back of the spool. Okay, mine has some directions written on it. Yours might not. Either way, all good. What we're going to do is just loop this through. You can see there's this tiny little spring in there. What you're doing is just looping that through so that it catches in that spring. It's super easy. Then, taking the thread, I'm going to bring it down into this opening. Just kind of gently lay it, you know, over, nothing too complicated. And then I'm going to loop it underneath this knob, because that's where the opening continues. And then I'm just going to kind of pull it up through this opening. Now in here, you can see that there's a lever, and there's like a hook on the lever. Now, see, it's so easy to get the thread in there that my thread's actually already done it. So you just kind of loop it in the back around and it'll catch. This is also why you want the needle to be in the most upright position, because this will be higher when the needle is at its highest point. Once the needle is down, this lever goes down, and it's much more difficult to get the thread wrapped around there. So you can kind of see that the thread is there. I'm going to bring it back down this opening. Just kind of lay it over there. And now I'm going to come down here, and at the top of the needle, hook kind of. Just going to put it right behind that hook. Kind of hard to see. And now's the time that you're going to start threading your needle. Honestly, I just do the spit thing and put it in my mouth, wet it, and then get it into the needle. You want to thread it from the front. This is looping around. This is not perfect. You don't want that loop, but you do want to thread it from the front of the needle rather than from the back. And then you are done. I promise you this is easy. It takes way longer to explain than to do. I'm going to show you how quickly you can do this. All right, so here we go. Pull the thread, go through that, down, up, around, and behind that clasp, and then thread it. It is that quick and easy.